Yes. It is a Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Yeah, you're right. The weekend is upon us. Thank goodness, huh? Overdue. Yeah, darn tootin'. It is New Orleans. Corey Johnson back at you on a Fantasy Friday edition of the program. 2 big hours coming your way. The usual suspects. Fridays with Fletcher Mackle, about 13 minutes away. We'll find out about the Pels draft and more from Fletcher McKell. In about 30 minutes, Michael Hecht from Greater New Orleans, Inc. Find out about a lot of stuff. His D.C. trip, Top Golf, the River District, all of that. Lots to discuss with Michael Hecht from Greater New Orleans, Inc. 5 o'clock power hour, doing it in style. Kind of like when Fletch joins me, you know. Fletch and I can talk. A couple of Yaddy New Orleanians chopping it up. We'll do that again in the 5 o'clock power hour when Scott Craig joins us from Katie's in Francesca. Katie's in Mid-City, Francesca out in Lakeview. Both yummy. Scott Craig in the 5 o'clock power hour to take us into the weekend, like I said, in style. Yeah, Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Thank goodness. Ready for the weekend, huh? Hopefully we get some decent weather over the weekend. And when I mean decent, you kind of want some cloud cover. You kind of want the little pop-up shower. The unpredictability part kind of stinks, but temperatures in the 80s and feels like in the 80s, like 88, 89, 90 when I say 80s, high 80s. Better than, 93 feels like 103. And right now it's about 92 degrees and feels like about 97 degrees. There is that kind of rinse and repeat gimmick going for like the next week to 10 days, waking up to high 70s, 77, 78 degrees every morning, but only hitting about 88, 89, 90 every day. And that's nice. Really no 90s in the forecast for like next week to 10 days, but we could hit 90 or 91. But still, it's so much better than 95 feels like 105. It's about a 15 degree or more temperature swing, like 88, 89 feels like 88, 89 instead of 95 feels like 105. The 105 crap is oppressive. It's a scorcher. It's like get in and out of the house real quick, get in and out of the work real quick, get in and out of the car real quick. Air conditioning. Just doesn't stop. Speaking of air conditioning, we broadcast live from the Buddy Deliberto Total Maintenance Studios. The 4 o'clock hour this afternoon brought to you by Total Maintenance. And that's a good thing because it is still hot out there. Even when it's 90 and we're like, thank goodness it's 88 or 90. Everywhere else, that's like a heat wave, a total scorcher. We're happy for it. It's still too hot. You still need air conditioning. Total Maintenance is there for you. East Bank, West Bank, North Shore. Got Metro New Orleans covered. West Baton Rouge, East Baton Rouge, Prairieville, Gonzales. Got Metro Baton Rouge covered. Honest air conditioning experts that come immediately. That's all you need. People you can trust that know what they're doing, that have a sense of urgency. Total Maintenance. For 40 years, sterling reputation. If you need air conditioning help in New Orleans or Baton Rouge, just think Total Maintenance. TM-AC.com. In New Orleans or Baton Rouge, Total Maintenance. TM-AC.com. 4 o'clock hour on this Fantasy Friday brought to you by Total Maintenance. Yeah, you right. Mayoral Forum last night. I'll fill you in on the little bit of details I know about that. It was just the three major candidates. And when I say major, Helena Moreno, who's getting anywhere from like 40 to 50% in polling. Oliver Thomas getting north of 20%, but definitely less than 30. And Judge Arthur Hunter, who's happy, I shouldn't say is happy, but the reality is happy to get into double digits. He might be like at 10%. Oliver Thomas like at, 25, and Helena Moreno like at 50 or more. The Louisiana Supreme Court ruled Ed Ogeron's wife deserves $8 million of LSU's $16 million buyout. Ed Ogeron taking a pop. He got $16 million, or is getting $16 million, probably still getting paid, or maybe there was a final payout. I forget. But for the first few years of that, Ed Ogeron was probably spending some of it and living high on the horse. Saw videos from Malibu and, different parts of the country. Now it's years later, and his wife is due $8 million of the 16. So he's probably spent a few mil. All of a sudden, this cushion he had is greatly diminished, like owes the wife $8 million, the ex-wife, former wife. Mostly that money for Ed Ogeron was hush money. See you later, and don't talk about sexual misconduct at LSU, especially with the football program. St. Francis Xavier over there on Metairie Road in Old Metairie Catholic School fired the longtime beloved music teacher. I don't think they fired him because he's gay. They fired him because some parent brought an obituary to the school's attention that showed this beloved music teacher's partner had passed away, and it was an obituary. And there's some, I shouldn't say unwritten rule. I think it's part of a contract. I can't believe it's legal that the Catholic Church, if you're working for them, you can't be in a gay marriage. I guess you can be in a gay relationship, but you can't officially be in a gay marriage. So they fired this longtime music teacher. Already 1,500 parents signing a petition to bring him back. Guy's beloved for generations. Just a bad call. Bad look by the Archdiocese. Bad look by the Catholic community. Bad look for St. Francis Xavier. All of it. Nothing good about this. And just some dopey parent that brings the obituary. Probably knew the music teacher was gay. That probably just, couldn't handle that. And then finally had something to go after the music teacher with. But had to have known the contract, and that the Archdiocese or the Catholic school system, this particular school doesn't allow gay marriage. Had to know those particulars. The Supreme Court put off ruling on a second black majority district for Louisiana. They'll argue that in the fall. Powerboat racing coming back to the lake this weekend, basically off the Bonneville boat launch. The New Orleans Grand Prix. Al Copeland and the, power boats, the cigarette boats flying around the lake. I mean, Al Copeland used to set world records, speed records with his boat. Bringing that back. Brings back old memories. Like when Popeyes was actually edible and good, when they were powerboat racing back in those days. When that biscuit was one of the finest biscuits anywhere, not some frozen hockey puck out of Atlanta or wherever it comes from. Oh, boy. Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Hey, this weekend, Magazine Street is a gem, is a jewel. What, about 4.5 miles from Henry Clay? I mean, anchored by Audubon Park on one side. From Henry Clay all the way to Camp Street? It's like the world's largest strip mall, or, It's just unbelievable. Shop after shop after shop, mostly mom and pops, mostly local, but a lot of national stuff, national chains, even with low profile signage, low profile storefront. Magazine Street is a gem. What an incredible street for like 4 miles. It doesn't stop. There's no gaps of no retail here for a few blocks, just continuous from like Henry Clay to Camp Street. Pretty incredible. That's where Art and Eyes is located on Magazine, the Riverside of Magazine, between Napoleon and Louisiana, a block away and across the street from Lillette Restaurant. High quality eyewear that's as unique as you. If you wear prescription glasses like me, get something that no one else has and super high quality. If you need a great pair of sunglasses, Art and Eyes on Magazine. No, it's one of the finest eyewear boutiques in the region. Something you would see in San Francisco, New York, or Europe. And that's where a lot of their stuff comes from. Europe, Japan, the United States. And I love this. Name brands you've never heard of, and that's a good thing. Because the name brands you've heard of are probably Chinese junk owned by Luxottica. You don't want that stuff. Google them. Art and Eyes on Magazine. Eyewear that's as unique as you. They're open tomorrow. They're open late tonight till like 7. Open tomorrow and open on Sunday. Art and Eyes on Magazine. Google them.
Some people think paint is paint. Well, it ain't. Paint ain't paint. At Helm Paint, we only sell Benjamin Moore because it's the best paint on the planet. In the end, you'll save time, effort, and money because Benjamin Moore paints cover beautifully in less coats. So the next time you pick up a brush, remember, big box, big mistake. Because paint ain't paint. To get the best, you gotta go to Helm. Let us steer you right. Helm Paint.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com. Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on Magazine, as unique as you.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
Breaking news, and I guess we're getting it because he's working today on a Friday. Fletcher Mackel's got some breaking news that's not sports related. What up, Fletch?
What's up, Corey? Yes, I am here at the office, and my news department is scrambling. They actually just broke it before the other news outlets, so kudos to WBSU. Antoine Massey, the 9th inmate on the loose, has just been captured in the Holly Grove neighborhood.
Wow, right there. Mid-city New Orleans, essentially. I mean, Holly Grove right there by Carrollton, by the Popeyes, by the Carrollton Shopping Center. Right off Earhart. That's amazing. Right there in the middle of the city, Fletch, for it's been a while now. What, it's like 6 weeks?
Yeah, something like that. I think it was you're right. I think it was like May 15th or 14th, something like that. Yeah.
Wow.
Right.
Unbelievable. Great job. Check it out on the Channel 6 website or at Channel 6 right now or their Twitter, any of that. They got you covered. Fridays with Fletch.
Correct, yes.
What's that?
I said that is correct, yes.
Cool. Are y'all live right now with news, right?
We're on right now, yes. And They've done a couple of cut-ins with it and everything, so yeah.
Perfect. Just one down, 9 caught, 1 to go. It is another edition of Fridays with Fletcher Mackel with us, who normally is off on a Friday, could be beelining around the bayou on his electric bike. Instead, they brought him into work. Why are you working on this Friday, Fletch?
I am working because it's been a crazy few weeks, obviously, with LSU spending 12 days in Omaha. My colleagues needed some time off. Kendall Duncan, who's our sports reporter, was with LSU the whole time in Omaha. Sharif Ishak and I were here kind of manning it forward, and we did a lot of specials. We carried Wednesday nights Celebration Live. We did a show the day after they won a national championship. We had the NBA draft.
Yep.
I had a little golf tournament, the Mackles. So we've all been working a lot, but Kendall and Sharif and our videographer Alvin are all off Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, getting some much needed R&R. So I am here at work today.
How did the Mackle go?
It went excellent, to be honest with you. It was fantastic. We had the charity golf tournament, which was fantastic. We had some former Saints players, current Saints players, a lot of great people. 5 current and former Olympians gave us their time and came out. And then for the actual Metro Championship last weekend, talk about a great finale. We had a kid named Patrick Blom that won. He was the runner-up last year. He's going to be a rising senior. He just finished his junior season, so this August he'll be starting his senior season. He's on the golf team at Southeastern. And he beat a guy named Miles Lewis, who is a former LSU golfer who was a state champion golfer at Jesuit High School and then played on the golf team at LSU. So you've got a former LSU SEC golfer who's in his early 30s now against a current golfer from Southeastern, and they went to a 4-hole playoff.
Wow.
And sudden death, and it took 4 holes. So it was a great finish.
Wow. And it was 36-hole tournament?
Yeah, it was a 36-hole tournament. In Blom, my heart broke for him for a second. He ended up winning. And look, both great guys, both great players. Blom ended up shooting 6 under to win it. They went to the playoff. After 36, they were both 5 under. But on 18, Blom was in the final group on Sunday, and he chipped up on 18 and put his chip 3 feet from the pin and from the cup, and it had a 3-footer to win it, birdie putt to win it, and it just slipped out.
Wow.
And so he made par, and then they went to the playoff, and on the 4th playoff hole,
he won.
Blum ended up winning it.
Wow. So, unbelievable. Nice. Hey, were any of the tees from the tips, or y'all didn't go that far back?
So Chip Sullivan, the pro at City Park, everybody was talking about how the course was pretty challenging. I mean, they made it as long as they could make it. And, we have a senior division, 50 and over, and they even talked about how grueling it was. It was, both days we got no rain, but it was as hot as can be, and the course played crazy long, which, look, I'll say this, it was great. We got a lot of college players from UNO and Southeastern. We had a kid from Swanee. The University of the South play. So some of these young guys that play in college that hit it a ton,
Yep.
It was good for them. But, for the regular guys, it was like, wow, that's, it was as long as they could make it.
Was the over 50 36 holes as well?
It was.
What was the winning score there?
I think it was +1. Don't hold me to that, but I'm pretty sure it was +1.
And who won
for the
that?
36. The thing is, Bart Dornier is an accomplished senior, and Tommy Brennan. We got some really accomplished players that are 50 plus now. The gentleman who won, I apologize for being on the spot.
That's all right.
I can't think of his name. It's the first time he's won the senior division, because we've had a lot of the same seniors that have kind of dominated. But this year we had a new senior champion, and he was, I'm pretty sure, +1. And then the champion of the regular division was Patrick Blom, Southeastern. He graduated St. Paul's, and he was 5 under, and then won it on a 4-hole playoff.
Well, Fletch, you broke the story, and you're right. I had Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungesser on the show a few days ago. Yeah. He said a week from Monday, it'll be July 11th. The governor will be in town. Billy Nungesser will be in town. They'll be announcing the LIV tournament for next summer. You know any more details on it?
I mean, yeah, look, you were one of the people at the tip of the spear, too. And I know my brother and I have been doing a lot of work on it. All I know is it's going to be next summer. I think it's June. That's what I'm curious about, which we can't nail down. It's going to be at a time when things are slow here, which will be great for the city, a major sporting event coming. And it'll be June or July next year. It's going to be at City Park, and they are definitely putting a massive renovation. It may not be. People keep talking about the course, but LIV isn't about. They need the course to be Bethpage Black. That's not what they're going to do. They're not putting all this money to harden the course. They need, locker rooms in the driving range. They need some of the ancillary things to make sure it's a championship quality facility. And not saying they won't put some money into the course, but that's not going to be, hey, we got to take, like New Orleans and Metairie in recent years.
No, $10 million. Yeah.
And put 10 and 12 million into them.
Right.
This course will play fine, even if these guys are tearing it up for a LIV event.
I think they'll probably rip up every green and sprig those. And in 3-4 months, you'll have brand new green, something like that. And that's hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's not cheap, but probably for under $1 million, you can knock out all 18 greens. That's what I'm assuming, Fletch. Maybe plant a few trees. And then when it's time, narrow those fairways, speed up the greens, grow the rough, play it from the tips, and it'll be a challenging layout for the LIV guys. Hey, and
I agree with you. They can grow the rough. They can do some things, but for anybody that thinks, man, they're going to make them, and again, if you look at what LIV is, some of the courses they play, they're not out here seeking, we need to have, Pinehurst, we don't need, that's not what they want again. And so, but I do think some of the money that the state is allocating is going to go to a facelift on the driving range.
Yeah.
And,
practice facility,
temporary locker rooms, and LIV handles the grandstands and things like that the same way the PGA Tour, in the Zurich Classic and the 4 Kids handled that stuff at TPC. But yeah, again, and look, here's the thing. I make no secret. I am a Zurich Classic PGA through and through person, and I always will be. But I am also a New Orleanian and understands that in the summers in our city, restaurants suffer and the tourism industry suffers, and we need help. And anything they want to bring that gives us a little shot in the arm, I'm all for.
Fletcher Mackles with us Fridays with Fletch. Pell's draft. Is Joe Dumars kind of, the game's passed him by, long in the tooth, as Jim Finks would say. Coupled with Fletch, I'll let you answer 2 questions at once. Did they give up too much? Was what Joe Dumars did kind of crazy?
Look, here's the thing. It could be. The one thing I would say is this. Look, it's your world. It's my world. We have hot takes on social media. You've got a daily show on TV and on radio where people want hot takes and opinions. And I just don't know what to answer right now. You could certainly say they made a crazy move, and there's a lot of national people right now trashing them. But here's the thing. What if Derek Queen is the next Julius Randle or Boogie Cousins? What if, like, Tyrese Halliburton went 12 overall? Gilgeous Alexander, who just won the MVP, went 11th overall. What if in 3 or 4 years, Derek Queen's the MVP of the league, or a two-time All-Star, or he wins Rookie of the Year next year? Is Joe Dumars stupid then? Has the game passed him by? Is he long in the tooth? So, again, they gave up a lot. Make no mistake. They gave up next year's unprotected first-round draft pick. If they win the lottery next year, that pick goes to Atlanta. That's a big price to pay. But it's not if he's the Rookie of the Year, and it's not if in 3 years he's one of the most versatile big men in the league. So right now you can argue whatever you want, however you want. Joe Dumars and his top lieutenant Troy Weaver can celebrate. This is the most unique, dynamic big man in the draft, and he's a foundation pillar. And there are a lot of pundits out there that can say they're stupid and they gave up too much and it's too risky. Again, we will not know that answer for at least a year and potentially 2 or 3, but you can argue it any way you want.
You can argue anyway what?
You can argue it any way you want. If you want to say the game has passed Joe Dumars by, this is ridiculous, he gave up too much, right now, you are right. And then for Joe Dumars, and look, I like Joe Dumars. The press conference I thought was good. He said, we made a bold move because we think he's a foundation pillar. We think he's the most dynamic big man in the draft in recent years, and they think he's going to be a great player. They're right too. Who's eventually going to be right? I don't know. But again, you could argue it either way. You could argue that they're crazy and they gave up too much, or you could argue that they got a guy who may be the best player or the second best player to Cooper Flagg in the draft in 3 years, and that's a small price to pay if he's that good.
Fletch, literally 10 seconds. Powerboat racing returns to the lake.
I remember it when I was a kid. I'm excited. I remember the Popeyes Al Copeland days. I'm curious to see how it goes now.
Yep, I said that myself. Hey, you were right. LSU in 2. They didn't make it till Monday.
They were too good. I knew it.
Yeah, you knew it. You nailed it. Fletch, always a pleasure.
Corey, thank you.
Yep. Yeah, you're right. Fletcher Mackel joining us. He did say that last week. I said, I was like, it's going to go till Monday, I thought. But, I'm just going by Coastal Carolina, win streak, great pitching, great record. Figured that they would split, but no, Fletcher's right. Too good. Too good. It is another Fantasy Friday. Fridays with Fletch. We shift gears. Michael Hecht from Greater New Orleans Inc., fresh off of a D.C. trip, joins us next. The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex, there's something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We're doing all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Outdoor dining, Middle Eastern cuisine, under the oak trees, Lebanon's Cafe, some of the city's finest lamb chops and shish kebab, Carrollton at Jeanette by the streetcar barn, Lebanon's Cafe.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love, more. When you do something, you have to do it right. It's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again. Ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters' 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now. Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. Get Audubon Gutters.
Does Helm Paint have the best paint on the planet? Helm, yeah. We only sell Benjamin Moore, the world's finest paint. Because paint ain't paint. Let us steer you right. Helm Paint.
Yeah, you right, Crescent City. Corey Johnson back at you. Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Michael Heck's with us from Greater New Orleans Inc. What's up, Miguel?
What's up, KJ? How's your Friday been? How's your week been?
Going well, man. Good. I can't complain. Just grinding along. Loving my city, even with all its dysfunction and problems, Michael. Still one of the greatest places on earth. Think if we had our you-know-what together, it'd be scary around here.
Yeah, no, I think about that. I think about those days where we go from being a D to a B, and the sky is the limit. So that's, it reminds me of, there was a great line from Madeleine Albright, Secretary of State. And she said, for most people, the greatest dream is just to be normal.
Yeah, I hear you. We've got that beat in by, a lot. We're definitely unique. One thing, Michael, I love all these economies in these other cities, but also, it's easy to get around New Orleans. Look, I want the economy problems. I want the traffic. I want all that. But New Orleans is an easy city to live in and navigate around. It really is.
It is. People have to remember that there are trade-offs to everything.
Yep.
And there are some cities like, I spend a good bit of time in Copenhagen, right? Now, Copenhagen was just ranked the world's most livable city. It's a pretty perfect place right now, right? But it's expensive as heck, right? And the government's going to take, over 50% of your taxes. And the sun doesn't shine for about 6 to 8 months.
It's muy frio. It's cold.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I get it though. Very civilized, very cultured. Like my dad used to say, they don't cut in line there, like that stuff. I get it. Hey, by the way, every Friday when Michael Heck joins us from Greater New Orleans Inc., it's brought to you by Latrim, the global manufacturing giant. For a full listing of positions available, because they're hiring right now, Latrim.com, Latrim spelled Laitram, Latrim.com. I was getting a smoothie on Jefferson Highway across from Oxnard, and this guy comes out, he grabbed his smoothie, and he had on the Latrim shirt. And I was like, wow, you work over for Latrim? He goes, yeah, man. I said, it's one of the best companies around here to work for. He goes, I've been there a long time. I love it. I said, I hear that, man. So,
they've got the culture thing on lock at Latrim. It's, you're like, what does this company do? It makes conveyor belts and shrimp peelers. And it's a innovation company that attracts really smart people.
Yeah, it really does. Michael Heck's with us from Greater New Orleans Inc. Let's jump into it. Hey, you had a D.C. trip, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we had a D.C. trip going up there talking about tariffs and talking about energy. And we didn't really we talked more about the big, beautiful bill than we did about the big, beautiful bomb, to be honest.
Any movement in a positive way for New Orleans?
Well, everybody that we talked to in our delegation, our senators, our representatives, were very clear that support the Louisiana International Terminal. And so that was great to hear. And they're going to help us with the Army Corps. We also met with a representative from the White House about the terminal, and they pledged their support as well. So that was my primary objective, was just to let people know that we have momentum on the port and that we're counting on everybody to help us push it forward as quickly as possible. And I think that was mission accomplished. And then on the tariff stuff, the message that we're getting, Corey, is that there are kind of two competing factions in the White House. There's Commerce Secretary Lutnick, who's more kind of in the Navarro, let's go aggressive camp. And then there's Scott Bessent, who's a little bit more like, let's not burn down the house just because we want to turn up the temperature a little bit. And I think that the Bessent side, the more moderate side, is winning. So I don't know if it'll happen by the president's goal of July 4th, but I do think that pretty soon we'll get down to a more reasonable tariff regime.
I mentioned this to you last week, and you didn't seem all that concerned. You thought it was all taken care of. I didn't know if this came up in D.C. or not, or it is a moot point. It doesn't need to be brought up. But I was concerned about the jobs at Michoud, NASA budget nationally getting cut from $24 billion to $19 and abandoning the Orion capsule and the rocket and everything. And that doesn't appear to be the case.
It doesn't appear to be the case. I thought you were going to say the Aurealis capsule. Like, that's different, Corey. We'll talk about that later.
Oh, boy.
No. This one, you know what? No, that seems to be put to bed for the moment, to be honest. I mean, the thing that I'm kind of most thinking about these days is these sales or partial sales of these two great companies, Gallo Mechanical,
Canal Barge. Yep.
And, it's interesting because I'm obviously thrilled for David Gallo and Merritt Lane. They're two of our great civic leaders, have built great generational companies. But on the other hand, we're now going into a new future, which is uncertain. It could work out amazing, but you just don't know, because when ownership changes, things, inevitably change. And it just reinforces the need to always have the next Latrim developing, because companies are going to evolve, things are going to change, and if you're not continually bringing in, stuff upstream to backfill your economic base, you'll get hollowed out. And so I would say it's kind of a bittersweet thing. I'm thrilled for the companies; they're our greatest companies. I don't expect any changes in the immediate term, but it does definitely reinforce the need for us to, always be bringing in reinforcements.
No, I mean, I'm in New Orleans. And I kind of keep a little eye every now and then when they pop up in the news of, like, what is it, Lucid now up in Monroe, the old telephone company up there?
No, not Lucid. It's the the big telecom company they're headquartered in Colorado now.
Yeah, they're in Denver basically, and they had some brand new, grade A office buildings built, like, kind of North Shore type stuff. I don't know how big they were, like 3, 4, 5 stories, a couple of buildings. Supposedly they abandoned those and gave them to UL Monroe. It sucks when, like, that was a Fortune 500 company. It was born in Monroe. Their headquarters was there, and now it's like just sort of a small presence there. It's Smoothie King now in Dallas, Raising Cane's in Dallas. Those things hurt.
They do. They're if you look at the history of older secondary cities, like New Orleans, Baltimore, St. Louis, Detroit, Cleveland, one of the things that's been really corrosive to them, the 80s, since is M&A activity that has taken headquarters away from these secondary cities and put them in newer or primary cities. I understand the rationale for it. I understand why it happens. But when you lose those headquarters, you're not just losing those top jobs. You're losing secondary jobs. You're losing all the services that go with it. You're losing the philanthropy. And I think most significantly, you're losing the civic leadership.
Uh-oh.
Place.
We lost you there for a second. Would you say you're losing the civic leadership and what?
and you lose the CEO who is really of a place.
No, like right now, Merritt Lane, David Lane at Canal Barge aren't going anywhere, but who knows in 3 to 5 years what the case will be.
Yeah, exactly. And so, you can't control that. I mean, you can control it to some degree by trying to create a place that nobody ever wants to leave. That's what we can control. So that's about quality of life and having sane politicians. But ultimately, you've also just got to be having enough companies coming in so that when, a company decides that they want out, for whatever reason, that it's not devastating to the economy. You can't be a one company town, or like a local loser.
Hey, Michael, not to go backwards, I'm tongue-tied on it. Lucid was the local company. Is it Lumen?
Yeah, I'm gonna figure it out.
We got to figure out the Denver-based, the old, what was it, CenturyTel?
CenturyLink.
CenturyLink, yeah, I forgot what the new name is. Anyway.
It's going to be called, we'll get this before I have to get off. The new company is called,
I don't know why I'm stuck on Lucid and Lumen.
Yeah, I think it might be Lumen. I think you might be right.
Lumen.
We'll figure
anyway.
It out. All right, I'll text you.
Anyway, it sucks. Hey, Michael, I didn't know what you're doing tonight, but on the side, I do a little DJ, and they call me La Conquistador, and the LA's like Louisiana. Some people confuse it the feminine, like Latina thing, kind of aggravates me. But anyway, La Conquistador, I'm going to be performing tonight at the Top Golf in the River District.
Well, nice. By the way, the woke thing to do is just to call yourself Conquistador X.
Nice. You're right. I'm politically correct by doing that.
Well, I'm going to see DJ El Camino, who's DJing tonight over at 504. Right there where the old Times Picayune building used to be.
Nice. And that business is up and running and supposedly doing really well. I mean, I see
They're killing it. It's amazing.
Yep, it is.
It's a beautiful facility. It's really nice to actually be there, even when it's raining, because you're covered. So it's quite picturesque. So high marks to that.
That worthless stoplight signal light at Earhart by Bridge House may actually be valid now. Might be real.
It finally got some purpose.
Yeah, it has some purpose. It's actually needed for a change. People are beyond the Burlington Coat Factory. It's wow.
Wow, beyond the Burlington Coat Factory.
Oh boy,
man, that's gonna be my biography. Michael Hex, Beyond the Burlington Coat Factory.
That's a good name. Hey, Top Golf not happening, but they seem to think it maybe goes somewhere else on the same spot, or is that just chatter?
I don't know. I think that they're going to do something with that space. I was never really certain that Top Golf was the highest and best use of that space, even if there wasn't another competing one.
Do you think they're coming to the? Do you think Top Golf? Do you think Top Golf's coming to the River District still? They said they still might come. I just don't know if I believe any of that.
I don't know. They Callaway, the company that bought them, is trying to get rid of them.
Yeah.
I just think that they're just in a different place now, to be honest.
Yeah, but they are opening in a few other places. So I don't know, Cleveland or somewhere else. Anyway, Michael Hecht, always a pleasure. Enjoy DJ El Camino at the 504 Golf from 6 to 9 tonight.
Right, and then come check out from 9 to 12 at Top Golf, Conquistador X.
Yes, I do my thing. Oh, boy.
Do you like?
Michael, a pleasure, brother. Thank you.
Thanks, KJ.
That's
Bye-bye.
Michael Hecht from Greater New Orleans, Inc. Conquistador X. That is a better name than La Conquistador. Coming right back.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center. It's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof. Now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anywhere. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
Some people think paint is paint. Well, it ain't. Paint ain't paint. At Helm Paint, we only sell Benjamin Moore because it's the best paint on the planet. In the end, you'll save time, effort, and money because Benjamin Moore paints cover beautifully in less coats. So the next time you pick up a brush, remember, big box, big mistake. Because paint ain't paint. To get the best, you gotta go to Helm. Let us steer you right. Helm Paint.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes are magazine, as unique as you.
When USA Today ranked the 10 best must-visit New Orleans restaurants for travelers, Mid-City's own Katie's made the list. USA Today says Scott Craig is chef-owner at Katie's, a much-loved Creole Italian eatery that draws armies of regulars for lunch, brunch, and dinner. A neighborhood spot where locals congregate and New Orleans-style hospitality rules. Indeed it does. Katie's in Mid-City.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com. Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com. Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen. I don't know if you've noticed or not, but I've definitely noticed because I'm sometimes late coming back in from the green room, looking up new news and information, stories, trying to keep everybody up to date. We've shortened our breaks a little bit, trying to get into 2025. You know, the old school radio I used to grow up with, I mean, literally, when I started, there weren't even like 15-second commercials. It was like a 30 or a 1 minute. And in so many cases, like 90% plus, you don't need a minute. A minute is like taboo almost. It's just today's too much of a microwave, mentality. Heats up quick and goes away fast, So a 30 is yesterday's 60, and a 15-second is, kind of today's 30. And now 5 second, 10 seconds, sometimes that's all you need, lamb chops, shish kebab, all your favorite Middle Eastern sides, Lebanon's Cafe, tonight for dinner, Carrollton at Jeanette. It's less than 10 seconds. Says a lot. So we really don't have any less clients. It's kind of the opposite. We just signed up Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. No, it's just kind of getting the show up to speed. And more new things coming next week, you'll notice, especially if you're watching on TV, Cox Channel 4, Spectrum Channel 333, or checking us out on our YouTube channel, The Neutral Ground, with Corey Johnson on YouTube. Doesn't cost a thing. Yeah, Gallagher's 527. So glad they joined the program because I like talking about the best. And Gallagher's is one of the best restaurants in Metro New Orleans. We've got so many great restaurants on the South Shore. It's amazing. Orleans Parish must have 100 great restaurants. Metairie must have a good, 10 or 12. The North Shore may have like 25. I mean, it's crazy how many really great restaurants we have in Metro New Orleans. If you live on the South Shore, you're in Metairie, out in Kenner and Chateau Estates, you live in Old Metairie, you're out in Lakeview, you're in Uptown, you're in the Garden District, you're on the West Bank. I'm telling you, if you haven't been to Mandeville and you haven't been to Gallagher's 527, then you haven't been to all the great restaurants in the city. Gallagher's isn't good. Gallagher's isn't very good. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville is excellent. A friend turned me on to Gallagher's, and I knew who Pat Gallagher was from the Winner's Circle and the quail dishes he used to serve decades ago. But a friend turned me on to Gallagher's 527 like a year ago. Sends me a photo of lamb chops in this oval plate just sizzling in butter, and I could just see it in the photo. I'm like, look at that. I'm like, where is that? He's like, Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. I'm like, damn. And just from the photo, I'm like, I've got to get there to get those lamb chops. And that's the first thing I had when I went to Gallagher's, the lamb chops. Then I went back for lunch, played some golf at Beauchene, and went and had lunch at Gallagher's 527 afterwards, and had the gumbo, which is outstanding. Not good, not very good, like the restaurant itself, excellent, as good as it gets. I love a great New Orleans gumbo. You will not be disappointed. They've got turtle soup. The crab meat St. Francis appetizer is to die for. Maybe the best crab meat appetizer anywhere, any place, anytime. So damn good. So damn good. So flavorful. And just chock full of big chunks of jumbo, fresh Louisiana lump crab meat. The shish kebab at lunch, sizzling in butter with the green beans. No, steaks and lamb chops sizzling in butter. Seafood mirliton with shrimp, crab meat, and crawfish. The sweet potato casserole. Those sides are fantastic. Pompano, redfish, tuna, gulffish amandine, usually like drum or speckled trout, pecan-crusted catfish meuniere, bacon-wrapped shrimp, bacon-wrapped oysters with a meuniere, just incredible. Scallops. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. Closed on Sunday and Monday. Lunch Tuesday through Friday, dinner Tuesday through Saturday. I'm telling you, if you love fine dining, if you just love to eat, you love great New Orleans, South Louisiana food. And I'm not talking good or very good. I'm talking great, outstanding. You'll be blown away. I promise you, like I was. I've been like 10 times in the last year. Now I get to talk about it. So easy. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. They're open for dinner tonight. They're open for dinner tomorrow night. They'll be back open Tuesday for lunch. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. You will not be disappointed. So damn good. Wow. Love it. No, I'm there like every few weeks, and I'm a South Shore resident. No, I'm so glad my buddy turned me on to that. It's everything on the menu I like. It's all fantastic. Fantasy Friday edition of the program. If you missed the 4 o'clock hour, you missed Fridays with Fletcher Mackel joining us. And breaking news for us, because he's at Channel 6 working today. He's in the newsroom. Antoine Massey, arrested in the Holly Grove neighborhood. Prison escapee number 9. Only one remains. Antoine Massey captured today in Holly Grove. Holly Grove neighborhood, I guess the borders would be Carrollton Avenue, Earhart on one side, I guess on the south side. The north side would be like Palmetto, and then all the way back to pretty much the parish line, I guess. to the Jefferson Parish line. So Carrollton Avenue on one side, the Jefferson Parish line on the other, Palmetto on one side, Earhart on the other. That's the Holly Grove neighborhood, which is directly across the street from the Gerttown neighborhood. And the Holly Grove neighborhood is where Antoine Massey was arrested today. That's the escapee with the tattoos all over his face. 9 down, 1 to go. 6 weeks later, been on the lam for 6 weeks. Found in Holly Grove, right in the middle of the city. Central City, mid-city, not Central City, quote, the neighborhood, but on a map, like right in the middle. Right in the middle of us. What's that, Blue Boy? They should have given you Antoine Massey's, like a piece of clothing or something, and your incredible nose, you would have found him very quickly. Blue Boy, you are a basset hound. Some of the best, sense of smell anywhere. You're right. You're right as usual, Blue Boy. 5 o'clock power hours next. Don't go anywhere, New Orleans. We got a lot coming your way.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
It's 5 p.m.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Interlocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Interlocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Interlocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com. My Sittu, that's Arabic for grandmother, used to make the best football kibbe. You can experience kibbe just like my grandmother used to make, and so many other Middle Eastern favorites on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes, a magazine as unique as you.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again, ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now. Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. Get Audubon Gutters.
It's time to relax. The Woodhouse Day Spa, Metro New Orleans' premier day spa experience, now with 5 area locations. For a day of relaxation or maybe just a quick 1-hour getaway, the Metro area's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa. And now 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and our newest location in Mandeville. The Woodhouse Day Spa, woodhousespas.com.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love. More. When you do something, you have to do it right. It's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Does Helm Paint have the best paint on the planet? Helm, yeah. We only sell Benjamin Moore, the world's finest paint. Because paint ain't paint. Let us steer you right. Helm Paint.
Yes, the 5 o'clock power hour is upon us. Are you kidding me? The big story of the afternoon. Fletcher Mackel broke it for us last hour. He was in the newsroom at Channel 6, and they broke the story locally. Jail escapee Antoine Massey caught in Hollygrove. Yeah. 9 down, 1 to go. Derek Groves, the only fugitive, the only Orleans Justice Center escapee, still on the lam. Still on the lam. Speaking of lamb chops, shish kebab, all your favorite Middle Eastern sides. I must be talking about Lebanon's Cafe. They're open 7 days a week. They open up at 11 a.m. and they stay open all the way till 9:30. That means dining tonight on some of the best Middle Eastern food in the metro till 9:30 tonight. Lebanon's Cafe. Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Yeah, you right. If you missed the 4 o'clock hour, you missed a lot. Fridays with Fletch, where he breaks the Antoine Massey story. Also, Michael Heck joins us from Greater New Orleans, Inc. Yeah, Antoine Massey caught in Hollygrove. As I said last hour, Hollygrove neighborhood basically bordered by Carrollton Avenue and Jefferson Parish line. Palmetto on one side and Earhart on the other. Behind that, Carrollton Shopping Center, behind the Popeyes on Earhart and Carrollton, behind the Rallies, all that is the Hollygrove neighborhood. Across the street, you got Gerttown, behind like 5 Crappiness Restaurant, part of the Xavier campus now. Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Mayoral forum last night, a mayoral forum with 3 candidates. Helena Moreno, who's getting somewhere around 45, 50% of the vote on just about any poll that you see. Oliver Thomas, better than halfway behind, like a little over 22% of the vote, where Helena Moreno's like north of 45%, some polls north of 50%. And then Arthur Hunter, the former judge, sometimes single digits, 8, 9%, sometimes squeaking in at double digits, 10, 11%. So, I mean, you basically can say Arthur Hunter at 12. Oliver Thomas has more than double that at like 22. Helena Moreno's got more than double that at like 45, 48. The Louisiana Supreme Court rules Ed Ogeron's wife deserves $8 million of the $16 million LSU buyout money. That wasn't signed until after Ed Ogeron and his wife got divorced. So Ogeron feels that after the divorce, she's not entitled to it. A judge ruled otherwise. The Louisiana Supreme Court ruled otherwise. Now, for Ogeron, it's a big hit because he got the $16 million, or got pieces of the $16 million. He may still be getting paid, or maybe LSU finally paid him off. But it's been a few years. So the mindset, the flow of cash, buying things, spending that money. I'm seeing Ed Ogeron post videos for a while from like Malibu, California. So he either rents a place or bought a place or is, down there, whatever. He's spending money. It's not cheap down there. He's in a very affluent, nice area. So Ed Ogeron gets this $16 million over time. He's spending a lot of it. Been spending a lot of it the last few years. Now his wife's due half. Like she gets $8 million. So I don't know how much of the $16 million Ed Ogeron's burned through, but he's burned through some of it. And now he's losing half of the original amount. So after everything's said and done, I would assume Ed Ogeron's got a few $1,000,000 left out of this deal, and his wife's about to get $8 million. St. Francis Xavier on Metairie Road in Old Metairie, the church and school. They fire a longtime music teacher, not because he's gay, but because he was married or had a quote, partner. And according to the contract, from what the media is reporting, the Archdiocese of New Orleans, the Catholic school system of New Orleans, and this is in Old Metairie, same thing, same archdiocese. They're not saying you can't be gay. They're saying you can't be gay and married or have a, quote, life partner. And some parent brings an obituary of the beloved music teacher's partner who had passed away. So, like, knows about the partner, knows the partner died, knows there's part of a contract where you can't have a partner, and brings it to the school's attention, and then the school fires the guy, the beloved music teacher. Just mind blow. All of it's unbelievable. I used to work for this person that ran a radio station. I never forget, like, somebody would come in and complain, and this person would just listen to them, and I'd go in, do you want to hear my side of the story? I mean, after like 2 or 3 times of this, I'm like, not lashing out, but I'm not holding back in front of my, quote, boss. You want to hear my side of the story? You already got everything figured out just listening to that side of the story. And then, don't yell at me. What are you saying? Don't yell at you. You're accusing me of something based off of one side, and you didn't come in. You didn't say, Corey, let me ask you about this. And then finally, the boss realizes how silly they were being, and goes, let me ask you about this. And then I tell them, and then it's totally diffused, and the other person has no credibility. So no, I mean, you can't just have one side of something. You need to be fair and objective and look at both sides. You have to have a little empathy, understanding of the other side's point of view. And obviously, this is just ready, fire, aim. But typical New Orleans Archdiocese, living in yesteryear, making basic vanilla mistakes and repeating them. I mean, you already have problems right now, a bankrupt archdiocese. Now you have St. Francis Xavier, this beloved church and school on Metairie Road that Catholics that live in Old Metairie or outside know about. I'm Catholic. I've been knowing about St. Francis since I was a kid. I've been to a church service at the old church, the little church, and at the big new modern church. So St. Francis Xavier is a successful parish where a lot of parishes have failed. This is a major failure. You have this beloved music teacher. He's beloved. He's been around the school for generations, 20, 30 years. You got like 1,500 folks that have signed a petition, former students that are older now that just love the guy. Now you have some dopey parent that may or may not have a kid at the school, may or may not have a connection to the school, doesn't like the music teacher, knows the music teacher's gay, knows the music teacher had a husband, knows the music teacher's husband died, knows that the archdiocese has this weird rule where, yeah, I guess you can be gay, but you can't be openly in a relationship or have a marriage or a quote, partner, and brings all that to the attention of the school. And the school does the dopey thing and fires the guy. If I'm St. Francis Xavier, I call the guy tonight and say, silly, stupid mistake. We want you back. Didn't talk to any attorneys. We were listening or watching Corey Johnson, and he said, we're about to get our rear end sued and we're going to lose. The Archdiocese must have did you consult with anyone when you make decisions? Do you just do this stuff on your own? It's 2025. You should have legal representation, not only for the, child molestation cases and all that, the bankruptcy, but for consultation. Hey, should we fire the gay teacher because he was openly married and his husband died and you're firing him based off of an obituary? It doesn't get any worse than this. It's like a Lifetime miniseries, for crying out loud. You can't script this stuff. How dopey of St. Francis Xavier, a parish I like, a church I've been to and like. Crazy. Big story, breaking news. Antoine Massey caught after 6 weeks on the run? Caught in the Hollygrove neighborhood just about an hour and a half ago. Derek Groves remains free. The Supreme Court put off a ruling on a second black majority district for Louisiana. They will argue that in the fall. Powerboat racing coming back to New Orleans. The Bonneville boat launch is the main spot. Yeah, the New Orleans Grand Prix. I mentioned, I said this to start the show. Reminds me of old Al Copeland, Popeyes, and that era. Fletcher Mackel comes on 50 minutes later. Reminds me of Al Copeland, Popeyes, and that era. It's that's what we remember. He was setting world speed records on Lake Pontchartrain. And that's when Popeye's fried chicken, like I said last hour, was actually edible and good. At one time, Popeye's was the greatest fast food ever created. They still have that title, but it's long gone. It was in the past. It was 30 years ago when they had corn. The corn was good. Like the napkin said, it was Popeye wearing an Indian feather saying, it's amazing, M-A-I-Z-E, maize, the Indian word for corn. It's amazing. It was pretty amazing. The onion rings were as good as any onion rings anywhere. Freshly battered, fried to perfection. They were great. The homemade biscuits, I'd go to Popeyes just to get a couple of biscuits. Go through the drive-thru 30 years ago. Can I get 2 buttery biscuits? They were that damn good. Now Popeyes, no bueno. Why is that drumstick broken? Why is the leg broken? Why is the meat black? I know it's dark meat, not black meat. It's black. This biscuit's a hockey puck. These red beans are awful. What happened to Popeyes? Oh, yeah. Al Copeland doesn't own them anymore. That's what happened to Popeyes. Atlanta. The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City.
Yeah, you right. Fantasy Friday edition of the program, 5 o'clock powwow as well. Every day, this program on radio, television, on YouTube, The Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson on YouTube. Click to subscribe to our YouTube channel. It don't cost nothing. Every day brought to you by the Lamarck Automotive Complex, home of Lamarck Ford for 45 plus years. I mean, honestly, if you're listening or watching me and you're somewhere in the region and you're thinking about like an Explorer, you know, F-150, you're going to go somewhere else but Lamarck Ford and Kenner? It doesn't make sense. You're thinking of a black label Lincoln SUV? They're incredible. Lamarck Lincoln, #1 Lincoln dealership in the state. And if you own a business and if you need a commercial van, truck, or SUV, that's Crescent City Ford on Jefferson Highway for over 80 years. Lamarck Crescent City Ford. Every day, this program brought to you by the Lamarck Automotive Complex and Lamarck Crescent City Ford. It is a little bit after 5 o'clock on a Friday. You know what that means? We're blowing that 5 o'clock whistle. And that 5 o'clock whistle, appropriately brought to you by Katie's in Mid-City, Iberville, corner Tallahassee, as New Orleans as it gets. The quintessential New Orleans neighborhood restaurant. So much great stuff over at Katie's, including lots of specials each and every night, each and every day, lunch and dinner. You never know what Scott Craig's going to bring in seafood-wise. Whatever's local, whatever's fresh, the freshest available, that's what dictates. Katie's, Iberville, corner Tallahassee. Go check them out. Yeah, 5 o'clock whistle, appropriately brought to you by Katie's, because we like, you know, putting the spotlight on this very time of the week. It's a little after 5 on a Friday, 100% of the weekend in the books. Excuse me, the work week in the books, 100% of the weekend in front of us. The whole weekend is in front of us. The whole work week behind us for most of us. So I like smelling the roses. That's why we blow the 5 o'clock whistle, brought to you by Katie's in Mid-City. Speaking of Katie's in Mid-City, look who the dog dragged in. It's Scott Craig from Katie's and Francesca.
Blue Boy or Agador Spartacus?
Well, I think it would have to be Blue Boy and your Spartacus dragging you, but Tolley could probably bring you in by himself.
Yeah. My little guy isn't dragging me anywhere.
No, just to the food bowl. How you
well?
Yep. How you doing, Scott?
I'm good, brother. How are you?
Going well, man. Doing well. Same old stuff. Grinding through summer. I don't mind the little pop-up thunder shower, even the threat of it, because it keeps us in the 80s. And that kind of keeps your patio going. Not too many places you can dine outside in the summertime in New Orleans, but that patio at Katie's seems to always be going.
It really is. It's nice, man. We had our Bear fourth season watch party Wednesday night, and we had over 100 people show up. And we all hung out on the patio and watched the first season of The Bear, the first episode of the fourth season of The Bear. And it was a lot of fun. We did a bunch of Chicago delights, Italian beef, Chicago-style pizza, thin pizza, not the thick kind.
Yeah, I'm not into the pan.
And Chicago dogs. It was fun, man. They were really good. It was a good time. We raised almost $5,000.
Because I'm, on top of everything, and I'm, stay on top of pop culture. What's The Bear?
It's a show on FX about a 5-star chef that has to go back to Chicago. I think he's at a restaurant in New York. And he has to go back to Chicago because his brother passes away and run his family's deli. I'm sorry. He runs his family's Italian beef. And it's all about him taking over this place. And to me, I quit watching after about 4 episodes because it was so overblown. I mean, you're taking over an Italian beef restaurant, you're a 5-star chef, and it's all these struggles of taking over this restaurant. And, he's serving Italian beef sandwiches. I'm like, I look at my menu at Katie's and I'm like, and all these struggles serving a beef sandwich. But anyway, and everything's yes, chef, yes, chef, yes, chef. And I just couldn't deal with it anymore. But I'm going to try it again. But we were just trying to raise money for pediatric cancer. So
wow,
we did. We raised almost $5,000.
That's unreal, man.
On a Wednesday night, and we marketed it for 2 weeks.
That's incredible, Scott. Congratulations.
Really
good for you,
the people that came out, were just incredible. And as a matter of fact, 4,800 we took in that night. I had an extra 200 that I had been paid on the side, so we did $5,000. I paid him that today.
That's great.
So, yeah, it was great, man. It was really, really fun. And, that's Sam Panisse, man. He's always trying to raise money for somebody else. He is the most giving person I've ever known in my life.
That's amazing.
So, yeah.
Scott Craig is with us from Katie's in Mid-City, Francesca and Lakeview. Hey, speaking of Katie's, what's going on there tonight?
Tonight, we have... we don't have any soft-shell crabs. We don't have any flounder pockets.
Well, we don't hear what you don't have. We want to hear what you have.
But we're battling hard, man, to get them.
You're pulling an Eric Asher instead of just see you tomorrow. Hey, I won't be in tomorrow. It's going to be a best of show. Eric, what are you doing saying that? What's the benefit of that again? Hey man, I'm telling everybody the truth. I know the Bible is an Old Testament. Only the fool gives all the information. I don't have soft shell crabs. You got so many goodies, and you're telling me what you don't have.
I'm doing fried chili Thai ribs again.
Now we're talking.
Eggplant boats stuffed with shrimp eggplant stuffing with a piece of fried catfish and seafood cream.
Yes.
Seafood lasagna, smothered pork chops, Thai fried chicken sliders. That'll be for brunch Sunday. Italian sausage stuffed shells. Fried trout over broccoli cheddar rice with Brussels sprouts.
Yummy.
Soaked in bacon fat and bacon and onions. And Cajun pepper steak.
I swear, like bacon and butter. How can you go wrong with bacon and butter?
You simply can't.
Nope.
If you want to make something better, add butter and bacon fat.
I'm telling you. So damn true. Wow.
Yeah.
That's
yeah, we got a great menu this weekend. It was, restaurant week last week. Thank you for everyone that came.
It was really a great week. I wish we could have those weeks every week.
I bet, man. No, that's great,
Right.
especially for June.
Yeah. Well, we continued it until the end of June.
Nice.
So we still have our restaurant week menu. If you still want to come by and save a few bones.
That's smart. Yep.
But we have Essence Fest next week. So I'm hoping to do very well with that. We normally have a great crowd for Essence Fest.
Yeah, y'all will kill it for 4th of July and Essence Fest right there in Mid-City.
It saves the weekend.
No, it's a great, come on, it's $100 million plus economic impact. And you probably will do more business for Essence in July, sadly, than you did for the Super Bowl.
Oh, double it.
Isn't that unbelievable? That's unbelievable. And I'm not knocking Essence. I'm not knocking Essence. I'm knocking the Super Bowl. Well, that's what I'm knocking. It's just all the events and ballrooms and big tents keeps people out of the local restaurants. It's like, God, NFL, you have to own everything?
The Super Bowl did nothing for local business.
No, nothing.
Unless they rented your company, unless they rented your whole building.
Exactly. No doubt. No
The
doubt.
Super Bowl's become a corporate pig.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
That's all it is.
Yeah. Hang on a second, Scott. I'm going to knock out a little local. Speaking of local, Helm Paint and Decorating, New Orleans and Baton Rouge, 4 locations in Tigertown. Paint ain't paint. You don't go to the big box store. You don't go to the chain store. You go to the local guys. New Orleans and Baton Rouge, Helm Paint and Decorating, high quality Benjamin Moore. You know, in New Orleans, 7 metro locations, including like Hammond. If you work or live in the Hammond area, Hammond, Ponchatoula, Springfield, Robert, anywhere in that general area, Helm is your go-to paint store for the best paint on the planet. And they deliver to all these neighboring communities absolutely free within 2 hours. Gretna, West Bankers. This store covers the entire West Bank for Helm. It caters and delivers to the entire West Bank area, from like Belle Chase to Boutique, from Marrero to Morgan City and beyond. If you're on the West Bank, anywhere on the West Bank, Helm has you covered. Helm Paint and Decorating. When you got to paint in Metro New Orleans, when you got to paint in Metro Baton Rouge, do it once, do it right. They'll steer you in the right direction. Helm Paint and Decorating.
Can I hear the jingle?
Yeah. Helm Paint, ding, 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 dong.
Supply.
Yep. I mean, that's just, those are no-brainers, Scott. I don't mess around with second-rate stuff. I want the best, and I want it with local folks that care and service-oriented.
Yep. Like, they're as good as the LSU program at painting as LSU is at playing baseball.
Wow. No.
How good was that?
That was good.
How good were they?
That was good. You know, the first movers in baseball in this state, UNO and Ron Maestri, and then Skip Bertman kind of took that baton at LSU and ran like the wind with it. But Omaha and Randy Bush and, you know, those early 80s, 40 plus years ago, it was UNO in Omaha and the World
41
Series.
years ago.
Yep. That's great stuff.
Privateers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Hey, Scott, hang on a second. I'm going to knock out a quick break and come right back. Scott Craig's with us from Katie's in Mid-City, from Francesca Deli over there in Lakeview on Harrison Avenue in between Canal Boulevard and West End. We'll find out what's going on over at Francesca. And a couple of yats, Scott and myself, chopping it up on a Friday, Fantasy Friday edition of the program, 5 o'clock power hour. We're coming right back, New Orleans.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Interlocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Interlocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Interlocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
There's a Middle Eastern restaurant that's less than 5 minutes from where Causeway and River Road meet, Lebanon's Cafe. Convenient to Old Metairie and Old Jefferson. Carrollton at Jeanette on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Does Helm Paint have the best paint on the planet? Helm, yeah. We only sell Benjamin Moore, the world's finest paint. Because paint ain't paint. Let us steer you right.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on magazine, as unique as you.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love. More. When you do something, you have to do it right. You know, it's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex, there's something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We do in all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience. Right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
I did it again. Going in the green room and sitting there talking with Scott off the air. We could have just kept the mic going, Scott, during that break.
Yeah, bro.
Chopping it up.
It's not like we curse or anything.
No, there wasn't too much cursing going on.
No. I'm a religious man.
But the only concern I ever have is just, the Brother Martin thing. You just never know. It's such a wild card.
Dude, you're so jealous.
That Brother Martin.
That's all you talk about.
That Brother Martin thing. Those Crusaders.
That's a bad sign for you, brother.
I'm a Crusader hater.
Man, you're jealous.
Well, it's not just Brother Martin. It's Jesuit, St. Aug, Shaw, Rummel. Even Chalmette. They were in the Catholic League once. I'm all De La Salle, 5300 St. Charles Avenue. The rest, the hell with them.
Oh, well, I guess, bro.
No bueno, Bromo, Rummel, Shaw, Jesuit, St. Aug, Chalmette.
Chalmette was in the Catholic League.
For just like a week.
No, they were in the Catholic League the whole time I was at Brother Martin.
Yeah, no, it was probably 20 years.
They were in the Catholic League. I was like, why are they in the Catholic League? We'd go around, we'd beat their tails off, and they weren't very good back then. There's a lot of hay bras on that team.
Now, Brother Martin, it's coming from a Brother Martin guy. Brother Martin, you guys had back-to-back state titles in football, like 71 and 72 under Conlon, right?
Just one, 71.
I thought it was two in a row. You sure it wasn't two in a row?
Yeah, I'm positive. It's the only title we ever won. We were in the game a lot, but
I thought there was like a pin that said twice as nice with the Crusader on it.
I don't think so. Not unless I'm crazy, but we beat St. Aug 7-0.
And that was like 71, 72, 73, something like that?
71.
71. See, I thought 71 and 72, twice as nice. I don't know. I thought maybe I'm wrong.
Unless I'm losing my mind, but, I don't think so.
I was in the Dome in 78 for the St. Aug Jesuit state title. I think St. Aug won 14-7.
They did, yeah.
It's like 60,000 in the Dome for that game.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Jesuit versus St. Aug. And that was 78. You know, that senior year, I think that was Mark Morial's senior year at Jesuit.
Yeah, it probably was.
Going to be like the future mayor one day. And the dynamic of that, the black kid at Jesuit. That's one thing that's aggravating. You got to be aggravated as a Bromo guy. All those Brother Martin parents with their kids going to Jesuit. De La Salle kids going to Jesuit. Rummel kids going to Jesuit. What's up with that, Scott?
It's irritating. I don't know. I've got some friends that have done that.
Yep.
It's because their wives control the nest.
It has nothing to do with the high-quality Jesuit education or environment, huh?
Well, no, I mean, both of them are high-quality educations and environments. But, yeah, I know Jesuit's got a higher academic standard or whatever, but maybe.
Yeah, the Jesuit has one of the higher academic standards in the city and the state.
But it's always like it's the wives making the decisions for a former Brother Martin grad.
Maybe so. I just noticed. I think it's just parents.
I've seen it in a couple of situations. One of my best friends.
No.
Well, actually, one of my best friends is his wife. And she demanded that their son go to a Jesuit school.
Yeah.
Jesuit family.
Yeah, I think a lot of those parents want the best for their kids, and the Jesuit thing is it, and it
depends on what you're looking for.
No, it's true. It's true.
I can argue that point every day. It depends on what you're looking for and who the kid is.
No, that of course, different kids, different places are better and all that. But generally speaking, and it's coming from a De La Salle guy, Jesuit has a very, very high academic standard that's superior to just about any place. I mean, I think Newman is way up there. Trinity, which only goes to 8th grade over there on Jackson Avenue, is really academically strong. Ben Franklin for a public school, Lutcher. But I think that's a big part of it. But you're so right, Scott. I mean, I'll say one thing, and you may disagree, but in like 20, 30 years, it's inevitable. They're going to just slowly start dropping. St. Aug, Brother Martin, Jesuit, Rummel, they'll be co-ed eventually. It'll be like, and people today are like, no way. Sacred Heart, all these schools, they'll be co-ed. It'll be like, how can you not be? It's 2045. It's so yesteryear to have, the sex is not mixing and you're missing out at, growth as an adult, not doing it as a 15-year-old, all that kind of crap. So I think that's inevitable.
Well, I can tell you this. I know for a fact that attendance is way down in Catholic schools. It's way down. We had 317 graduates in my senior class.
Yeah, we were like that too, like 280 or something at De La Salle. Now we're at half of that.
It's like 200 now.
Yeah. Well, now Brother Martin's still like.
I know how many kids went to Brother Martin for 8th and 9th grade this past year, and it was way down. But it was way down at Jesuit. It was way down everywhere.
Yeah, I thought
Catholic schools.
Now, when I was, in high school, like almost every Catholic school had north of 1,000 students. I think except St. Aug. I think St. Aug was like around 900. Now St. Aug's like 600. De La Salle's like 600. I think only Brother Martin and Jesuit have north of 1,000, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Jesuit's like 12 or 13.
Got like 600.
Rummel's down below 1,000. Yep. Yep.
It's yeah.
Yep. It's crazy. All right, let's shift gears from the Debbie Downer stuff to something positive. What's going on over on Harrison Avenue at Francesca?
Oh, it's going great, man. I mean, we've got parking now, which is a big deal.
Tell that story. The bank down the street buys a lot and puts asphalt rocks on it and makes it a parking lot, not for the bank, but for all the businesses around it.
Yes.
That's unreal.
Because the businesses in the area, there's a lot of businesses opening up on that corridor of Harrison.
That in between Canal Boulevard and West End. Yep.
Yep. They're never going to allow the parking, the neutral ground to be a parking lot.
Right.
Like the other side.
Right.
And those are beautiful parking lots. They've got the crepe myrtles. I mean, they really are nice, and they really help those businesses in the area. So, we kind of struggle in that corridor because we don't have parking. Now,
and I guess, Scott, because it wasn't at all a retail corridor, it was Charlie's Deli, maybe a bank, maybe one or two other businesses. And now it's about 15 or 20 businesses in between Canal Boulevard and West End on Harrison, right?
Yep. So fifth district savings and loan. Out of the goodness of their heart, they own that lot behind their parking lot, and they don't even care if we use their parking lot. They own that lot too, and the owner of the bank built a lot for the businesses in the area to use.
Wow. That's strong.
Nothing but first class.
Yep.
And that's one of the coolest things I've ever seen.
No, that's really cool, especially
we have a little parking lot that's only a half block away.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
That's good stuff.
It's really, really cool. So,
what you got going tonight at Francesca?
We've got our fried seafood Fridays. I mean, it's just a great place to pick up a pizza or on the way home in Lakeview or wherever. Pick up a sandwich, pick up a muffaletta for the family, because one muffaletta feeds about 4 people. You pick up a moon sandwich or, a whole, we can do a whole Italian sub for you. We can do whole poor boys. It's a great place to just pick up some food, or if you want to hang out, it's quiet. You can bring the kids. It's just a neat little setup, and we appreciate everyone supporting us. But it is summertime, so please come support us.
Yep.
If you're in town.
Yep.
Support your local businesses. We need you. We need you. We need you.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Francesca Deli on Harrison Avenue in between Canal Boulevard and West End. And Katie's in the heart of Mid-City. Scott, any final thoughts till we do it again? You like the Pelicans draft or what?
I think they got a couple of good players, but I don't like how they did it.
They gave up a lot.
I mean, I think he thinks Joe Dumars thinks they're not going to be a lottery team next year, so that's a positive. But I mean, Corey, come on, man. I mean, they could have the first pick in the draft next year, and they just gave it to Atlanta to move up 10 spots.
Yeah,
I don't get it.
No, I don't
I'm
either.
Sorry.
No, and you're
I
probably
don't get it.
Chances are better you'll be a lottery team next year than not. So it's a big pick.
Dumars may know what he's doing. These might be really good players. They seem to be on paper, but Griff put together a heck of a team on paper.
Yeah, exactly.
They have to want to play basketball and not play hurt all the time.
Yeah, God, you can't have the injuries.
Go out and eat 5 Wendy's triples and, whatever Zion's doing today, it's like they're lazy. They don't want to play. I mean, and then Griff loses his job, which I thought was ridiculous because I thought he put a good team together, I could go on and on about that and be negative, but I don't know. I hope Dumars knows what he's doing.
Me too. That's all we can hope for.
Having losing teams.
If it works, we won't even think about it. If it doesn't, it'll be glaring. Hey, Scott, always a pleasure, brother.
Love you, bro. Thank you.
Yeah, you're right. That's Scott Craig. Thank you, man. From Katie's and Francesca Deli. Scott Craig joining us on the program. Yeah, he's right. Support the local restaurants. That's for sure. All the local restaurants. Hey, speaking of local, Young's Dry Cleaning, as local as it gets, New Orleans, youngsdrycleaning.com.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City.
Some people think paint is paint. Well, it ain't. Paint ain't paint. At Helm Paint, we only sell Benjamin Moore because it's the best paint on the planet. In the end, you'll save time, effort, and money because Benjamin Moore paints cover beautifully in less coats. So the next time you pick up a brush, remember, big box, big mistake. Because paint ain't paint. To get the best, you gotta go to Helm. Let us steer you right. Helm Paint.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 airy locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again, ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters' 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now.
Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes a magazine, as unique as you.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen. Boy, I'm really fired up. Just this week, Gallagher's 527 joined the program, one of our sponsors. Just heard about Trey Yen. 2 great places, like bookends right there for you North Shore folks, right at the foot of the causeway. Trey Yen, some of the finest Chinese cuisine in America. Gallagher's 527, one of New Orleans' great restaurants. You South Shore folks, I often say about Trey Yen, 25 short minutes from Lakeside Mall, and that's the truth. It's not 30, it's not 35, it's not 40 minutes. There's no driving on the North Shore. You cross the causeway immediately on your left, Trey Yen. You cross the causeway immediately on your right, Gallagher's 527. 30 seconds off the bridge. Absolutely outstanding. Superior. One of the finest dining experiences in Metro New Orleans. You South Shore folks, you love fine dining. You eat down in the Quarter, the Warehouse District, Uptown. You folks that live in Metairie and in Uptown and in Mid-City and in Lakeview, Old Metairie. If you haven't been to Gallagher's 527, you haven't dined at all of the finest restaurants in the city. You will not be disappointed. The opposite. You will call the program and thank me for the tip. I got one from a buddy of mine about a year ago, sends me this photo, oval plate with lamb chops sizzling in butter. From the photo, I could tell they were sizzling in butter. It's like, damn, that looks good. Where is that? He goes, lunch at Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. And I knew who Pat Gallagher was. And then I said, I got to go get those lamb chops. And I beelined across the lake in the next few days, and I had those lamb chops. I've been back about a dozen times in the last year at least. Was there earlier this week enjoying lunch, gumbo, crab meat, St. Francis appetizer, and the shish kebab with the green beans sizzling in butter. It's not good. It's not very good. It's excellent. You will not be disappointed. If you love great restaurants in New Orleans and you've never been to Gallagher's 527, you are missing out. In Mandeville, right across the causeway, 25 minutes from Lakeside Mall, Gallagher's 527. They're open tonight. They're open tomorrow night. They'll reopen Tuesday. Closed on Sunday and Monday. They'll reopen Tuesday for lunch. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. Go across the lake. You'll thank me. I promise you. I love talking about stuff that's great. You've really got to not like something that is universally great to not like Gallagher's 527. It's easy to talk about. It's easy to hype. I'm blessed. Seriously. All these clients, all these advertisers, like 15 of them, a good dozen of them are like, Corey, we want you to do live endorsements for our business since you like it so much, since you love it so much. Talking to Pat Gallagher, I was like, easy to promote your Merlaton and, sweet potato casserole. So good. These fried oysters wrapped in bacon with the Meunier sauce, that appetizer, so good. Hey, powerboat racing returns to New Orleans. Bonneville boat launch, the New Orleans Grand Prix. I remember Al Copeland 20 plus years ago breaking speed records on water in his cigarette powerboat. It's now like New Orleans Automotive Center, something like NOLA Automotive. But you remember the building right there, like I-10 Service Road near Causeway? It was like all of Al Copeland's toys. The big old glass front. He'd have Ferraris, Lamborghinis, power boats in there, all kind of stuff. It was essentially the Al Copeland's toy warehouse. And because he's Al Copeland, it's not going to just be some steel building, some warehouse. It's going to have a glass front. And he's going to show everybody, and it's going to be right there on I-10 to show it off. That was just his style, like it or not. But he was, serious about the power boats, so much so where he was like setting speed records, world records on water. Powerboat racing returning to New Orleans this weekend. Metri, brah. The Supreme Court is putting off the ruling on a second black majority district for Louisiana. They're arguing it in the fall. The Louisiana Supreme Court rules against Ed Ogeron and for Ed Ogeron's wife. The Louisiana Supreme Court rules that Ed Ogeron's wife deserves $8 million or half of the $16 million buyout of Ed Ogeron's contract from LSU. Now, that was years ago. So, Ed Ogeron, he was in Malibu. He's kind of, impulsive. He spent millions of dollars in the last few years. You know it. And now half of the 16 mil from a few years ago is going to be gone, writing his wife a check for $8 million. So all of a sudden, Ed Ogeron goes from, set for life, a lot of money, never, ever has to work again, just knowing how impulsive Ed Ogeron is, and it's several years later, and I would imagine just from videos in Malibu and, nice places, the Bahamas, all kind of videos, Miami, just spending money, enjoying himself, not working. No, and now 8 million gone. I would think in a year or two, I wouldn't be shocked if you see Ed Ogeron like D-line coach at a college somewhere. And you just say, man, I was bored. I wanted to do something. It's probably blew through a lot of money. And now this ruling years later, 8 million of the original 16 goes to the ex-wife. Shame on St. Francis Xavier on Metairie Road, Old Metairie. I love that church. The school's a good school. I went to the old church, the little small church, and now the big modern one. They fired their longtime music teacher who is beloved, happens to be gay. They didn't fire him because he's gay. They fired him because he was married or had a life partner that was known about. That life partner died. Some parent brings in the obituary or some, parish resident or parishioner that shows the obituary. Hey, the beloved music teacher, he's not only gay, but married. Here's the obituary saying it was his life partner. Isn't there a stipulation in the contract where someone who's openly gay can't be married or have a life partner? And apparently that's true, which is just yelling, sue us. Sue us, please. So the silly Archdiocese of New Orleans, silly St. Francis Xavier, fires this longtime beloved music teacher. There's like a 1,500 plus signature petition that's been handed in, like 1,500 plus, a bunch of alumni that love this guy. And his partner dies, and that's when you're going to go, spill the beans. And it's no beans to spill. The guy should have his job, no matter if he's married or not. Just a lawsuit waiting to happen. Great news. Antoine Massey captured in Holly Grove. 9 escapees captured. Groves is the only one remaining. Antoine Massey captured. That's Blue Boy saying have a great weekend. I'll see you Monday at 4.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
It's 6 p.m.